All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Hello, Lakeisha McKnight is indeed here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. Again, welcome to the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. I'm your host, Lakeisha McKnight. Glad to be here before each and every one of you on tonight. And even before I get started with this, I am about to actually host a watch party. So just give me a moment or two. Want to get this watch party cranked up a bit. We're actually going to host a watch party in a women's group. And yeah. And we should be good to go. So again, thank you so much for your patience as we get this watch party started. So sounds like it's pretty good with the audio. So very, very good. Okay, very, very good. All right. So perfect, perfect, perfect. So welcome aboard, everyone. It's an honor to be before you on tonight. Remember this podcast, the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. It's a media outlet for a nonprofit entitled Women of Elevation Career Services International. Now, this nonprofit and its podcast, we're based out of Chesapeake, Virginia, but we also have a location in Nigeria, Africa. And it's our mission. Our mission really is to empower women with the tools to be able to create, relate, and elevate so you can walk in your God given purposes and truly live your dream lifestyles. That is what we intend to help you to accomplish. And so, with this podcast, please note that we do this podcast every Tuesday and Wednesday around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to take a moment to acknowledge a few people that we see live with us tonight. Tanita, we do see you, Tanita. Good evening to you. We see Deborah. We see Dr. Monisha. So again, thank you so very much, ladies, and everyone that may catch the replay of this. We thank you so much for stopping through and listening into this podcast show. So if you want to learn, before we dive into the topic tonight, if you want to learn anything else, anything that's pending or coming up for this nonprofit organization, we invite you to visit www.womenofelevation.com so that you can learn more and get plugged in, see how you can be involved with what it is that we do have going on. So, now, I want to get into the topic matter, but I do have a special invitation I want to share with you towards the end of it. You might see it already in the comment section or the description area, but we'll talk about that towards the end. But for many of you, you may know that with this nonprofit, we focus in on three core areas: create, relate, and elevate. And so for the first 4 months of every year, right, from January through April, we focus in on helping you to create products, deliver quality services, and host your own events. That's what we help you to create during these first 4 months of every given year. So if there's an interest for you to create a product, deliver a service, or host your own events to grow your brand and to really build your business, this is the time where you want to plug into these podcast episodes as well as the events that are coming up. Okay? So the topic matter tonight is really helping to give you an idea regarding creating and delivering a low ticketed service. A low ticketed service. Last night we spoke about the power of creating a free service and offering that, the purpose of a free service. But tonight we're talking about the low ticketed, like the service that you would give for a low price, like little to nothing. Now, I want to give you an idea of what this would look like. Some people will call this a breakthrough session, like a one-off session. Okay, we're not talking about a package deal. We're not talking about several sessions. We're talking about one session. It can be a consulting session. It can be a coaching session, a mentorship session, but it's like a little bit of a sneak peek again, but it has a little bit of depth to it, more time to it. So you might allow this particular service to last for 30 minutes or for 45 minutes, okay? And it's really like a discounted type of opportunity where it may cost anywhere from it could be anywhere from $30 to $40. And again, that's low ticketed. Some people would say that's a bit on the higher side, but when it comes to services, especially if you're doing a one-on-one service, your time is valuable. Okay. And so you don't want to do it based on like an hourly time. That's not the way to think about a service, especially as an entrepreneur. You want to consider the value that you're going to be offering to the marketplace. So when you're an entrepreneur, you're not thinking like an employee where you're thinking like on an hourly basis. You're considering the value that you're going to be delivering during the amount of time that you're providing to that client. All right. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at value versus time, like an hour, 2 hours. Well, that's how we're looking at it. Okay. And so, how much value are you going to be delivering for that particular service? That's one session, for example, that you're going to be offering. So think about that in terms of creating a low ticketed service and how you want to deliver it. It really depends. So if you want to deliver it via phone, if you want to deliver it by way of computer, now there are different other options out there as well. Now that things are changing with technology, you can do things through, social media. So there are various options to really look at when it comes to the delivery of your service. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be coaching or consulting or mentoring. There are other types of services that are available out there. But those are the most common services that people connect or attach to their businesses. Okay. So think about this for yourself. Think about the type of low ticketed service you want to create and how you want to deliver it. All right. So those are some suggestions that I want to give, but I want to tell you that for those of you really considering, adding consulting to what you're doing or want to know how all of that works, how do you really create a consulting service? I want to invite you to be a part of a 3-class series. We have a 3-class series coming up March the 24th, 25th, and 26th, okay? We want you to register for this service. Now, when I say we, I'm talking about the leaders, a part of Women of Elevation. We want to invite you to register for this 3-night class event, and the classes will be held using the Zoom platform. So we invite you to register, and once you register, you're going to learn how to get access to the Zoom details. So that's where the details will be revealed. So how do you register for this free event, you might be asking? Well, you would simply go to the link in the description area or the comment section. So you would go to www.thecreatelisummit.com. Okay? thecreatelisummit.com. Register for the free classes here. You're going to have a high amount of value. And for those who register and are present, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get access to a bonus session. I'm going to be giving a session, okay? It's going to be a one-off session. I'm going to talk to you about the power of podcasting and how to really leverage podcasting to grow your brand to be international. Because I will tell you that with this particular podcast, as well as my leadership podcast, we're reaching over 20 nations around the world. And I'm going to share with you how this can happen for yourself and your brand. So you want to make sure you register for this event. Again, go to thecreatelisummit.com. Okay? Get your seat. And I encourage you to share the link with friends, business colleagues, and the like. You want to help other people to be able to grow as well. We want to spread the love. We want to share the information so that people can grow their businesses and have an impact on others as well. So that's really what I wanted to share. Understand, this podcast is really like a laser coaching session. It's not meant to be an in-depth training session. Now, the training, you're going to get some valuable training during the Telesummit, so make sure you plug in. And then not just that, we also have an intensive seminar coming up, okay, in the month of April. Now, we're going to announce and finalize the date. You should get that within the next 48 hours. Many of you who are connected to me on Facebook, we're going to be sharing that information soon. You'll see a flyer with additional information regarding the seminar. Now, that seminar, we're looking forward to having it in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and hopefully at the Bonefish Grill. Many of you may be familiar with that restaurant, but the Bonefish Grill in Virginia Beach, Virginia is where we're looking forward to having this intensive seminar event. And you don't want to miss it. Okay, you don't want to miss it. So I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in on tonight. I really do. Thank you so much. We'll be back again. We'll be back for this podcast in a fresh episode on next week, okay? Next week on Tuesday. So be sure if you have questions about anything, send me a message. Right? Send me a message. For those of you who are tuning in on my timeline, maybe you want to be more informed. You want to get a heads up notice about opportunities that presents itself through this nonprofit organization. Well, you want to join the other ladies who are a part of the actual group for Women of Elevation. And so there is a link that you can go to so you can join the group, the Women of Elevation Global Leaders Group. And so you would simply go to woecommunity.com to enter this group. All right. We want to definitely have an impact on more and more of the ladies there. So be sure to plug in, be a part of the community, be actively involved, and we want to help you to simply grow. That's what we want to do. So again, thank you so much for your time, ladies. And if you have gentlemen listening in, gentlemen as well. Again, we'll be back next week with the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. Take care and God bless.